Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to F1 Manager 23 on the PS5. It's time for round 3 of our second season with Mercedes. We're heading to Albert Park in Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix. So what a couple of starts to the season we've had. Great first 2 races, back-to-back 1-2s and back-to-back victories for George. He's stepping up this season. He's been given equal treatment and is smelling the opportunity of a world championship and is grasping that nettle with both hands. He's really going for it this season. Very, very close between our 2 drivers. You know, the lead has been claimed on the final lap in both of the last 2 races to go on and crown the eventual winner. And I imagine it's going to be pretty much the same here in Australia. As always, we'll get them to hold position while we're fighting with the rest of the field, but as soon as they're in a position where they can break clear, they are free to fight amongst themselves. We will not be giving preferential treatment unless absolutely necessary this season. So let's take a quick look at our standings. You can see we are top of the Constructors with 88 points, Red Bull in second with 54, Ferrari a distant third already with just 24 points. Sainz in particular not having a great season. He's only had 9th place finishes this season, 2 back-to-back 9th place finishes. There you see the Drivers' Championship, George with a 14-point lead over Lewis, who is 7 points clear of Max. Then it's Checo, Leclerc, Ocon, Stroll ahead of Alonso by 2 points, then Gasly, Sainz down in 10th with just 4 points to his name, and Lando Norris the last of the scoring drivers so far. Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting season if this kind of weirdness in the grid kind of continues, I think. Let's say hello to everyone in the chat. We've got Victor, we've got Mr. Water, we've got Taufik. Good to see you guys. And hello to everyone else watching who hasn't said anything yet. Right. It's the day of the Grand Prix, so we're going to just quickly double check our car builds, make sure that everything is on the up and up for both of our cars. So we do have 1 chassis available. We're holding that back until we have 2. So that we can put it in both cars. We've got spare front wings for both drivers, still on the original rear wing. Got the new side pods on the car, new underfloors on the car, and new suspensions with a spare on the car as well. Let's see what is in development right now. So we have a new front wing being manufactured or being designed. A new rear wing is on the way. That's 2 weeks away. Side pods just over, and suspension a day after that. And in terms of manufacturing, we've got some spare chassis coming and some more spare underfloors. Let's have a quick look at car analysis going into this Grand Prix. So we have the fastest car. Need to work on the acceleration a little bit more if we can, but we have very, very good downforce, as you can see. First in low and medium speed, second in the high speed. Dirty air tolerance is the best. We've got best brake cooling, we've got the lightest car in terms of extra weight, and our engine cooling, about average. We're working on that, hence new side pods and a new chassis coming. That's encouraging to see. I want to see what's going on with Ferrari. Where are their weaknesses? Oh, high speed. That's really bad. 15th. That must be where they're losing a vast majority of their time, because their car is quick. And they're 3rd. So that's the 2nd fastest car behind us. 5th in acceleration. So they've got better acceleration than us. Their DRS effectiveness is pretty strong. They're good in low speed. They're pretty good in medium. But yeah, high speed. They are down. It's not by a massive amount, it's by 0.1 G, but I mean, it kind of adds up a bit. And they do need to work on their brakes and their engine cooling a bit if they want to keep their tyres in check, stop lockups, and stop cooking their engines. Let's take a look at Max's car. He is our biggest threat. Speed is 6th. We're about half a kilometre faster than the Red Bull. That's quite a nice little advantage. They do have the best acceleration on the grid, but everything else is not amazing. I mean, they're average on their DRS, average in the low speed, just above average in the high speed. They've got decent medium speed, average in the dirty air. Red Bull's not as good a car as you would expect it to be at this stage of the season. And one thing I do want to check, if I can, is I forgot to do this. I want to see if anyone has switched engine suppliers. Let's see, if we go into the championship standings, can we see who has changed? So, Aston Martin. I'm trying to see if I can actually see a way to see what engines they're using. See if anyone has switched. Maybe we can see in the results here, maybe. No. There must be a way. I've seen someone posting on Reddit earlier today that a lot of teams had switched to Red Bull powertrains, and I mean a lot of teams. Pretty much the only teams that hadn't switched were the manufacturers themselves, because they couldn't, but everyone else had switched to a different team. Alfa Romeo had interestingly gone with Renault, and pretty much everybody else had switched to a Red Bull powertrains engine. And I'm just curious as to whether we can see anywhere if that is the case in our career as well. Don't know where to actually look for that though. Alright, I guess we'll just have to wait and see if we can see that somewhere during the race weekend itself. Alright, let's set our targets for tonight's Grand Prix. So, the incentive, 1 car in Q2. That's going to be easy. Quali position, I reckon 2 on the top 3 is definitely going to be achievable. Reach Q3 with both cars, yes, comfortably. Fastest lap is the incentive. I'm going to go 2 on the podium again. We've got a new finish position streak, 2 in the top 6 for 2 races. That should be pretty straightforward. And then we've got our quali streak, 2 in the top 5 for 5 races. We are 2 races down on that. So let's head to Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix.
It's wonderful to be back down under for the Australian Grand Prix. We're a stone's throw from the beach here at the Albert Park circuit. It might be party mood in the grandstands, but in the paddock, expectations and tensions are high. The Albert Park circuit is bursting with rapid corners and a long straight where drivers can push their speed to the limits. Good attention to medium speed downforce will likely make beating this beast of a track just a little bit easier.
In the Constructors' title battle, it's Mercedes who are currently leading. But at just the 3rd round of this year, the title could be anyone's.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Formula One.
Well, good evening, Farah. Welcome to tonight's stream. See if you stick around for the final corner this time. Right. Sponsor goals are set. We've got our reports out of the way. We don't need to look at those. So let's go straight into getting our cars up and running. We are going to put Teo in the car, in Lewis's car tonight, for the first round. We are going to make sure we switch the tyres this time. There we go, because I forgot to do that yesterday. Right, setups. So I've got plenty to choose from in the book. Let's have a look. We'll start... let's start with an 8, 13, a 7.3, a 3.05, and a 0.4. There we go. That's Russell's setup. We're going to go 20 laps here at Melbourne. There we go. Once again, we're not swapping out parts. It's still too early in the season for us to think about changing parts out. Let's get Hamilton's car set up. We'll go with something a little bit different. We'll go with an 8.5 and a 13, a 6.4, a 3.25 and a 0.8. There we go. Right, and then because we're running Teo, we're going to overfuel for the session, just in case we do nail the setup. And then we can just keep going and get his track knowledge done in one sitting. Drop the pace and the fuel usage, and I think we are ready to go. Yes, we are. So yeah, we're going to alternate between our two cars every race as to which one is going to get Teo for the first session. But we will not be running him in sprint weekends, simply because there's only 2 sessions available, and we need both of those for our drivers. So we won't be running Teo next week, well, tomorrow in this case, at Baku.
Avoid all curbs. Avoid all curbs. Copy that.
Are you happy with tyre temps?
Okay, let's see. Is anyone running a reserve? I don't think so. Doesn't look like it. Nope, just us. This is going to be the case for most of the season, I think. Interesting to see Mick is about 4 tenths faster than Ricardo. Difference in tyres, and it's about 2 tenths. And now Ricardo's actually gone quicker. Interesting.
And give us a balance check. Balance check.
That's not great. Only 79%, so let's call the car in straight away. Make some changes.
Just say what you'd like on the balance.
85 for Russell. That's not too bad.
All good.
Only a couple of changes needed there, I think.
Advise of the tyres.
So the rear wing's spot on, the front wing's pretty good. We do need to change the roll bar, so we'll move that to a 7.3. And we need to change the camber as a result. Let's try just knocking the front wing down to a 7.5. Cheers. Knock that to an 8. There we go. And we'll increase the camber a bit more. We go about there on the camber and pull that back in a bit. And let's try that. Let's see how that works. Let's take a bit of fuel out because we don't need all that fuel in there anymore. 16 laps will be enough. And interestingly, another post I saw on Reddit suggests that at the end of the season, if you want to switch teams and you have a vacancy, you have to fill the vacancy before you switch teams, which means we are going to have to deal with Lewis's seat at the end of the calendar year before we can leave Mercedes. So we'll offer him just a straight 1-year extension on his current deal, and if he turns it down, we will promote Teo. I think that will be, well, assuming Teo is ready. This is one of the reasons why we're going to run him at every weekend apart from sprints, just to see if we can get him ready for a seat as a solid number 2 driver. Yeah, we'll offer Lewis a 1-year contract extension, same terms as he's on this season. If he turns it down, then we will, look at promoting Porsche, or maybe look at making a move for a new driver that Mercedes would potentially make themselves. We'll see who's out of contract at the end of the season, I suppose. But ideally, the plan would be, just let Lewis stay on for 1 more year, and or promote Porsche. That would be the ideal scenario. One of those two outcomes. I'm sure that would actually probably please Farrow if we signed Hamilton for 1 more year and then spent the next season trying to baby beat him. Right, 85% on Russell. Let's go ahead and make those changes. So it's the cornering. Let's push that up to about there. Let's pull that back a bit. Let's see how that goes. Not much to do now except wait for feedback to come in. We are close with Teo, 82%. Oh,
check.
Not much of an improvement at all. Alright, only 3% gained. So we've probably gone the wrong way on something. I'm guessing we've gone the wrong way on the roll bar. We went to a 7.3, maybe it needs to be a 5.5. Maybe we just didn't go far enough. Maybe it really needs to be an 8.2. We shall find out in just a moment. Oh no, it's the roll bar's fine, it's the camber that is very wrong. Okay, so the camber needs to be there, which means that is going to have to move to there. But this is already starting to take shape quite nicely, because that now gives us the gap that we need on the front wing to get that about right. So we just need to pull the toe back in. I think that will nail it. We'll obviously find out when Lewis gets in the car in practice too, but yeah, that to me looks like we've just nailed that setup. Right, so now we need to see how Russell's getting on with his changes.
Balance check.
Very, very good job, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, Ava.
still a bit of a way off. Right, I was thinking about calling him in early, but we'll leave him out for the last few minutes because we do still need to work on improving the car part knowledge now that we've got a couple of new parts on the car again. Alright, session is over. Let's have a look. Okay, so that's going to need to be a 6.4. And I need to make that little click there and then push that to there. Pull that to there. Try pulling the front wing back a touch. Yeah, let's go with that. That's going to be damn close, I think, if not nailed. So we want medium tyres. We want to go 26 laps will be enough. And Lewis is in the car now. He's on the hard tyres. We want him to run for about 40 laps. Okay, send them out for the next practice. Evening, Sarada. So as the season progresses and we start to get more of a clear picture as to where teams are going to end up towards the end of the season, do start sending me your suggestions as to who you think we should move to at the end of season 2. We've got a few contenders. We're looking at maybe Alfa Romeo, Alfa Tauri, McLaren. Those are the main three. We've also got maybe Haas with the American theme. Maybe hiring, Crawford and Sargent, and going all Team America on that one.
If we can have a balance check.
We got close, 97%, so there is a little tweak that we need to make. We can do that after this session. How are we doing with George? 95%, so big improvement there, but still a little bit of work to do. Do I have any setups saved from all the tracks in this game and the last game? Yes, I have a notebook. It's quite famous on this channel, my notebook. It's a little notepad, little notebook. Just flip through. I've got a page for each track with just any setup that hits 100%. I note it down in the book. Some of the ones from last season have transferred over to here. I haven't tried all of them because there are some new ones as well. That we didn't get from last season, so there is a little bit of variation, but yeah, some of last year's setups have worked at getting 100%, and obviously we have kind of discovered some new ones along the way, and they all get written down in a new notebook for this season's setups. Right, let's see, what do we need to do to George's car? Okay, so we need to push the front wing back to 8. Let's recorrect the camber. And let's move... Ooh, which way do I go? That's a bit too much, I think. Let's go there. It might well end up being there, but we'll try that. See how that shakes out. The infamous notebook has infinite pages. You use my setups and they worked amazingly. Yeah, I could say there's no specific setup for an individual car. The setups work across whichever team you're in. It doesn't matter which team you're in. They can fluctuate a little bit, and I'm not sure if that's based on the drivers themselves or just, you know, whatever upgrades are on the car. I don't think it's upgrades, because I did knock out a 100% setup in practice, having forgot to put a chassis upgrade on Joe's car on my Alfa Romeo playthrough, and then put that on in time for qualifying, and he went out and the setup rating stayed exactly the same. So I think it's just maybe the drivers that maybe cause those fluctuations in the setups. But I'm not 100% certain. It might just be a random number generator within set ranges. Pool cleaner simulator, they'll add the word sim to anything. Yes, they will. There are just,
temps are low
and they have you noticed they all use the same style of font as well. Very reminiscent of the farming simulator games from back in farming sim 15, 17. It uses that same font style, which I think Giants have updated a little bit. The numbers, the letters look a little bit fatter, I think, on the more recent ones, but. You know, you'll see them all, like Police Simulator, or Lawnmower Simulator, or Power Wash Simulator, or, you know, Firefighter Squad Simulator. They all have exactly the same style, because Giants obviously, you know, were the most prominent one of the simulator franchises out there that had the most traction with the mainstream audience, so they just copied the style of the word simulator and slapped it on their games to try and, you know, steal, you know, some potential. Oh, that's got the same style of writing. It must be the same, you know, the same company. I'm sure they've done it like that, just to try and, you know, trick some unsuspecting, you know, gamers into buying their game thinking it's from the same company. Alright, we need to just... Oh, this is going to be really tight. I've got to do that. Click that back. Hopefully, everything stays okay everywhere else. We have a begrudging respect forming between Farah and Sarada. That's good to see. Right, data view. Can I see in here who is using what engine supplier? No, I can't. Let's see if McLaren have switched. I'm going to have a look and figure out where that came from. It doesn't display it here. See if I can figure out what screen I saw that on and reverse engineer it onto the console so I can see if anyone has changed engine suppliers. Right, setups have been tweaked for hopefully the final time. We're going to slap on some soft tyres for George and send him out for about 28 laps. And we're going to leave some mediums on for Lewis and send him out for 35 laps, I think. There we go. Right, into final practice. A bit of a party going on in the chat right now with the emotes. Oh my god. Let's see if we can get a whole flurry of 100s popping up for if we nail these setups. I haven't nailed them yet. Hold your horses. Ah, 99. Ah, so close. We can correct that for quali. All right, got one more chance. Oh, 95. What's gone wrong with George? Oh, that's not good. All right, we'll call George in.
Hey, fam.
All right, so maybe we've got to go 8.5. I'm going to go there. Send them out for another 18 laps. Alright, there we go. Russell is back out. This is our last chance to get a 100 in practice. About halfway there to set up with Russell. You're praying for a Nico special tonight and a canter for George. Yeah, thanks for that. Alright, so that will be 100 in quali. Right, George's setup coming up. What's it gonna be? No, just missed it again. But that's something again we can easily fix. So we'll call him in. Oh, it's really not clear, is it? Oh, okay. It's got to be there then. No, wait. No, yep. It's got to be that. Because we increased it. So it's not guaranteed, that one, but I'm confident. Let me check Lewis's setup because I know that is going to become a 100. So let me see if it's already in the book. Let's have a look. 8.13, 8.2, 2.90, and a 0.2. Yeah, that is actually already in the book, that one. Okay. And George's 8.5. 13.64, 3.30. And 0.95. That is already in the book as a 100 setup. So, yeah, pretty confident on that one as well. We won't know till they've done their first runs in quali, which is any moment now. The emo party's still going
Our
on.
weekend continues with qualifying.
Okay, so just a single lap in qualifying 1. Let's send them out. Send out George first tonight, or in this session anyway. And there goes Lewis.
Focus on the brakes a bit.
Yeah, agree.
Let's just focus on the outlap. And the
I'm hoping for a nice, straightforward cruise to victory tonight. So I can take a bit of pace out of the car and just let them fight at a slightly lower pace setting. I'll be happy with that. Less chance of an incident and a little bit less wear and tear on the car itself. Am I close to the plat? No, not yet. Let me have a look. What is my trophy score at the moment? 25 of 30. But I still need to get the Constructors' Championship, so that means at least the end of this season. Plus, I need to get a design centre maxed out, and if we're going to be switching teams, that's not likely to happen for a long time. So that's going to have to wait until I can max out a design centre privately, I think.
You got a good gap ahead. Good.
Because we need to get a design centre up to level 4
And circuit's all clear.
to get 15 engineers, and then if we get an
You're good
email
to go.
giving us the chance to boost productivity for 60 days, that'll then give us the option to up that to temporarily for that 60 days to 22 engineers, which will be enough to get the 18 that we need. But it won't be enough with just 10 engineers available. So yeah, we need to get up to level 4, and that's not happening this season. And then depending on who we go to, it might not happen next season either, or the season after that, or at all in our career mode. So like I said, it might be that I have to unlock that one in the background on one of my other places. What I am going to do is duplicate this file when we get to the end of the season, so I can keep the option of staying at Mercedes privately. So that might be the quickest way to go about doing that. Because I'm with Alfa Romeo at the moment, and their facilities suck so bad.
Just get that delta negative.
Okay,
we will
so
box end of this lap.
Hamilton is a tenth faster than Russell in the first run.
Just keep an eye on that delta. So just confirming boxing and back into the garage. Okay.
Let's see how the rest of the grid lines up. See if we get any surprise exits in Q1. Still got plenty of time left yet. Keep it at 16 times for now. Okay, getting down to the nitty-gritty, the end of Q1. Norris and Stroll are at risk. Piastri's in 6th. How the hell did Piastri get up to 6th? Oh, Norris is hitting traffic. Leclerc's close to the drop zone. Is Norris going to do enough? He's got more traffic at the end of the lap as well. Norris is out as Piastri goes out for another run. Unnecessarily. He should be safe by a long way. Who's on a hot lap right now? Let's have a look. Leclerc is probably going to be safe. Magnussen's flying around, but he's got traffic. Magnussen gets through. Leclerc is on the bubble. It's Tsunoda on a flying lap. No. Only Schumacher can cause some mischief now. He is improving in both sectors. Can he knock out Leclerc? I mean, he's going to have to pull out an almighty lap to do it, but... He has! Charles Leclerc is out of qualifying. Oh my word. What a job by Mick Schumacher there. Leclerc was looking rapid in practice, and he just is out. He's out in Q1. I missed out by 0.06 of a second to Daniel Ricciardo there. That is a huge scalp. Alright, Q2. Once again, we're just going to do one lap. We'll send Lewis out first this time. Evening Simulator YouTuber, it's been a while. Right, who is that in front of us? Perez, that's okay.
Just be careful with the warm-up.
Understood. We should do some work on the brakes.
Copy.
Still can't quite get over the fact that we lost Charles Leclerc in Q1 there. That's going to royally screw up his race. I can say he had the pace to be up there with Max. And potentially us as well, but yeah, not now. Maybe a late safety car might bring him back into the picture, but I don't think he's going to be fighting for the podium. I think he's going to be fighting for the lower end of the points at best.
And circuit's all clear. Good to go.
All clear ahead. Good to go.
So we'll have the upper hand in Q2. Might be George. He's behind Perez, so he might get a slipstream all the way through. See if he closes the gap to Perez. who stays purple in the first. The gap's going to be so small between these two anyway that it kind of doesn't really matter who gets pole because they're going to be scrapping all the way through. George up in the middle. $1:17.0 for Hamilton.
Tight on that delta. Okay, let's call the car and we'll box.
Perez goes second, and then Russell immediately displaces him. He's 3/10 down.
So
Might be a little bit of
delta
dirty air,
negative.
perhaps. Let's see if we get any other big scalps in Q2. Right, it's starting to make their way out. Stroll getting a bit of traffic. Mighty Mick leaves the garage and immediately causes problems for his teammate. Sainz is out now. Piastri getting in all sorts of people's way here. So it looks like Stroll is going out. As is Ricciardo, Gasly, Schumacher. So who is flying right now? Let's have a look. Piastri, Sainz, Schumacher. Those are the three. So, can Schumacher knock out another Ferrari? Oh, he's got traffic. Oh, that's Schumacher out. The Williams and his teammate both getting in the way. Piastri's qualifying well again. Sainz gets through without any traffic. Piastri's about to cross the line. Stays ninth. Sainz will be through, but where will he finish up? Is there any real pace in that Ferrari this weekend? Not a huge amount. He's only just faster than Piastri. So it could be another P9 in a row for Carlos here. And Mick, in the end, unable to improve his position, as I say, held up really badly on that final lap by Ricciardo and one of the two Williams drivers. Right, Q3. We're going to do one lap on the old tyres, and then we'll do 2 laps on the new. See who can get pole position. Looks like we may possibly hit a little bit of traffic towards the end of the lap. Evening, Marcel. I suppose this is almost a home Grand Prix for you, isn't it, Marcel?
So just getting that delta.
Right, Russell
negative.
is purpling at the moment and is a tenth ahead of Hamilton. So we've got base times set.
Get the delta negative.
Time for some fresh tyres
Pull the
and
car.
a 2-lap run to see who can take pole position. Evening, Harmony. So, new tyres, a bit more fuel, and George is in peak confidence. That's good for him. Lewis not quite there. Speed time up just a touch. Okay, so out goes George. Out goes Lewis. That Red Bull on a flying lap.
Let's just focus on the out lap.
Yep.
No, it's not. It's on an in lap. Okay, so we've got clear track at the moment. Not going to helmet cam while they're still warming the tyres. Give everybody motion sickness. Whoa, what a lap from Ocon. He's up there in third. Verstappen has provisional pole. That's going to be incredibly close. 2-lap run on fresh tyres. George's confidence is just under peak. It's dipped slightly since he finished his first lap. He was lagging a little bit.
All clear ahead. Good to go.
We've got a car coming out the garage.
Circuit's all clear.
It's Esteban Ocon.
Cancel magic. Good
He
to go.
currently is between our two drivers. Let's just hope George catches him at a nice, inconsequential part of the track. Which I think he will do. Ocon stays to the left. No hindrance to George, who is purple in the first sector and is now well into peak confidence. So this is going to take provisional pole. Lewis coming up to the Ocon. Is that going to cause a problem? I can't really tell. We'll find out in a minute as they cross the line. George does not improve. How does he not improve? Hamilton goes provisional pole. And he's almost completely maxed out on peak confidence there. Russell's still in peak confidence. Will have clear track for his second flying lap. Evening, Baron. So what was that last lap? 1:17.229. I think that's the lap he did at the beginning of the session. He's 0.07 of a second slower than Max. We'll stay on board with Russell as he winds up for a second attempt at taking pole position.
Circuit's all clear. Good to go.
Just 0.05 behind Verstappen. Apparently I can't do maths today. We're going to have Ocon in the way again by the look of it. Very close. Look at Ocon's pace though. I mean, that's really, really good pace from Ocon to be up there ahead of Perez. No improvement from George in the first. Oh, and a little lift. He got held up. So George might not be able to take pole, but can he take at least second from Verstappen? He's down in the middle. That'll be down to because of Ocon. Hamilton coming up to Ocon. Doesn't get held. He's not improving. George needs a mighty final sector here. ABL is anyone but Lewis. George can't improve. Max is going to split us on the front row. That's a shock. And Russell went purple in the final sector as well. It's just that little lift in the middle sector because of Ocon. That's cost him pole position. Or at least the front row. So there we go, that's our top 10 qualifying complete. Hamilton on pole, Max in second. George Russell is third. Ocon, mighty pace for him, up in fourth place, ahead of Perez. Then it's Alonso. Sainz in seventh. Albon in eighth. Magnussen ninth. And hometown hero Oscar Piastri is in 10th.
It's race day, and final preparations are underway.
Albert Park often seems to set teammate against teammate, from Hill and Villeneuve dueling for the 1996 win to Bottas beating fellow Mercedes driver and pole sitter Hamilton to the win in 2019. And the sky is looking grey and cloudy today. An effective tyre strategy could prove very valuable as the race plays out.
In any case, Melbourne is ready, and so are we. So strap yourselves in for the Australian Grand Prix.
Right, we've got clear skies for today's race. Let's take a look at strategy. So I think a one stop like this might be possible. Tyres are going to be right on the limit. But it is possible, so we will look at that in some serious consideration. The other option is to maybe go softs to hards. Just have a little bit more life in those tyres. Slightly less pace, but less risk of a puncture. 4 seconds the difference. One stop over maybe a two stop. What about a two stop? Oh, two stop is quick. Yeah, we'll go with a two stop. We'll go softs, mediums to softs rather than medium soft softs. Just give us a chance to maybe break away at the beginning of the race. And also the potential for a good undercut as well, if necessary. Let's strip a bit of fuel out. Let's take 3 laps of fuel out the car. There you can see we have 100 setups. We're going to go aggressive on tyres and fuel at the start. We're going to hold the battery back for a lap or 2 if we can, and then try and sprint away. Right, we are set to go to the grid.
The fans here in Melbourne are all set, as are the drivers, heading into 58 laps around Albert Park. This could be a big race for that man, right there, Lewis Hamilton.
They've got a fantastic opportunity starting on pole, but can they carry it through to the end?
Here we go. It's time to go racing. Get ready for the Australian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
All right, that's a bad start for Verstappen by the look of it. He's been passed and he might be under pressure from Ocon. So we've got Russell ahead. I'm going to tell him to hold position. Oh, yep. Looks like he's ignoring me. No, there we go, he's tucked in. Not really a fast food kind of guy, not anymore. Never really went to Burger King. Yeah, when I did, it was McDonald's, but more often than not, if I was going to get something, it would be from the local takeaway, fried chicken and chips or a pizza, rather than a McDonald's. I don't really like McDonald's that much. Tastes not nice. The chips are nice, but only while they're hot. Then they start becoming cardboard. Right, so far we're looking good. Max has been able to hold off Ocon and is probably pulling away slightly. Although we got a poor exit out of that corner. It's going to put him under pressure again. We haven't even started using our battery yet. So we're going to be able to break away pretty quickly and convincingly, I think. We've almost dropped him without even trying. Now we're going to deploy the batteries.
Use the overtake. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've been to a Burger King for about 15 years at least. And it's been over 2 years since I last had anything from McDonald's.
DRS has been enabled.
Right, tyres are a little hot, but we're going to push them
So,
for another lap or two. And the fuel, just to really sprint away from Max. Let him get caught up in a fight against Ocon and Perez. Sainz has gained a place, he's up to 6th. Piastri has dropped 4 places. That's a shame for him. Leclerc is still down in 18th place. He's actually lost 3 places. He started, what, 15th? 16th. So he's lost 2 places. Gap is up to 2.5 seconds. Still stretching that lead out. Ocon is all over the back of Max. He might get him here. He's on mediums as well, so he might be going for a one-stop strategy.
You are fastest on track.
Right, now we're going to calm down the tyres and the fuel.
Just going to need some lift and
Put
coast.
them into top up.
Just charge
And
the pack. Charge the pack.
let them fight. See if Ocon can get the jump on Max. That will certainly help us out. Sainz up to 5th. He's got ahead of Perez. Sainz is Perez on. Perez is also on the mediums and Sainz is on the soft. So that kind of makes sense. That tracks. Both of the Haas are on mediums. Piastri's on the mediums as well. That might be why he's dropped back a few places. And both of the Alphas, the Alfa Romeos, are on mediums as well. Here comes Ocon having a little look. Going to cool Russell's tyres down a little bit. They're a bit hot because he's in the dirty air. Even in VXR, it is a bit uncomfortable. Yeah. And evening, Andy, if I didn't say hello, because you joined just as the race was starting. Going for a look. Pulls alongside in the braking zone. Max retakes the position, but he's going to be side by side through the final corner, and this means Ocon's going to have the DRS on the main straight as well. Russell has moved into the lead with DRS to pass Hamilton. Come on, lock on. How different is 22 to 23? Big difference. The racing is far less predictable. You know, drivers will push all the way up and down the grid. Development is harder. You can't just, you know, comfortably outdevelop, you know, your opponents. How did I get the Mercedes that far ahead? A lot of hard work last year. And some very focused research as well. Right. Russell's tyres can go back to normal. We'll check in on our drivers in a moment. I just want to see if Ocon can actually stay ahead of Max. There's Sainz in the background being chased down by Perez. Alonso sniffing around in the background as well. Let's see if we can get away with maybe going for just a one-stop. We'll try running them like this while we're 4 seconds ahead of this battle. What do I think this game can improve on? Well, there's still a lot that it can improve on. It'd be nice to have a much more rounded, well, not saying much more rounded, a much more in-depth, you know, behind the scenes. So we added one new staff member, but we still don't have a lot. You know, it'd be nice to have a bigger team of engineers to have, you know, actual named engineers. Maybe with you know, a couple of people in each department. They're getting started on the helmet changes. No, I'm going to ignore like the little visual things. I'm just talking about, you know, gameplay features that would be good. A more fleshed out race weekend experience. There's no grid walk. There's no warm-up lap. Something like that, you know, those would be nice little features to, you know, improve the whole immersion in the race weekend experience, I think. It'd be nice to have young driver academies rather than what we've got right now. A bigger pool of drivers. You know, to have heads, you know, modelled heads, so that it's not a case of the current grid is the only ones that get ahead, and as soon as you go beyond those, then you never get to see a podium. Speaking of, a bit more in-depth celebrations would be nice. There's no real big celebration for winning a championship. It's just the same as if you win a race. It would be nice to see, you know, the official trophies in the game for the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship, and then being used. I can understand why they don't have them for individual races, but there's no trophy presentation for winning the Drivers' Championship. There's no trophy presentation for winning the Constructors. You know, that needs to be, you know, implemented in the thing, because it just, you know, it ends up feeling a little bit like a bit of a popcorn fart when you win the title and nothing happens. It's just, you won the title, well done, carry on. It's proper split timings where you can see the gaps between drivers per segment, you know, especially for qualifying, where, you know, you're chasing that little bit of time and you don't know whether you're up or down in a sector, whether you've either improved or set a personal best or gone fastest in the session with the yellow, green and purple, sector colouring, but you get no actual indication as to how much you're up by in that sector. It would be nice to say, choose whether you want to set against the target time of pole position, or if you're trying to avoid getting knocked out, against 10th or 15th or whatever, that needs to be in the game. It'd be nice to see live timings pop up during the race as well, or have the ability to toggle those on and off every now and again. So there's still a lot of stuff that they can do to improve it. It'd be nice to have some alternate liveries implemented in the game, so after a few seasons you can choose to change the livery to maybe one of the special edition liveries that the teams run that year, just so you can add a little bit of variety on the grids, rather than seeing the same identical looking models running around year after year after year after year after year with no changes whatsoever. Obviously the AI can always improve. Updating to the correct rules for sprints would be nice as well for the next game, which will happen. I'm certain of that. But yeah, there's a whole load of things that can be improved upon. But it's definitely a big step forward, I think, in terms of the last game. And Ocon and Max still scrapping side by side. Max is going to retake the position with DRS, but let's check in with our boys. Hamilton currently leading. We've saved a couple of kilos of fuel already. We're only 11 laps in. I could have taken more fuel out. George chucks it up the inside. I think he might have just given Hamilton the DRS there for the main straight. I'm not sure. It'll be close, very close. He did give it to Hamilton, so Hamilton will retake the lead. We're 5 seconds ahead of Max and Ocon now. Now I think we can just run like this and convert to a one-stop. So let's explore that. Let's go... with a stop maybe somewhere around about lap 27? Lap 26. Yeah, the team has gone a little bit football mad. Alright, Hamilton has stretched out a little bit, but Hamilton is being reeled back in with DRS. Ocon back in front of Max. Sainz still ahead of Perez. Alonso has dropped, is caught back up into that pack. And Magnussen has broken away from Hulkenberg. So a bit of a gap between the two Haas cars now, nearly 5 seconds. Albon is all over the back of him. Piastri has dropped all the way down to 17th. What's happened to Piastri? Started 10th on merit and has just plummeted down the order. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Who's had a wobble?
So let's take a look at the replay. Here we are then looking at turn 12. Oh, and they need to be watching those track limits. Perhaps a little lapse in concentration, maybe.
I just completely missed the replay there because I was looking at the chat. It didn't look like he went too far wide. I just saw the replay on the phone. PXR put himself on Barrett's Christmas card list. Yeah, it's going to be a really comfortable race for us by the look of it. We're not going to have to push the cars at all. We're going to let the drivers fight. But we are going to make some slight modifications. Just to reduce the likelihood of them hitting each other.
Need to look after the car.
Understood.
Still need to change Lewis's strategy. It's yeah, I'm holding off on that for now because I just want to see how the tyre wear continues. Got a lock up for Alonso.
Here we are, we're looking at turn 11.
Under pressure from Kevin Magnussen.
The wheels just lock up there. By that point, it was just too late.
And that's going to drop him out of DRS range by a few seconds by the look of it. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's 3.5 seconds off the back of Magnussen. Right, how is the tyre wear looking? As the tyres finally drop out of the temperature window. Yeah, we're looking on course to do that quite comfortably, I think. So, yeah, let's go ahead and change Lewis's strat as well. There we go. You can give me all the Binotto strats you want. I'm not going to do them. Red Bull have dominated enough of Mercedes. Time for Williams to shine. Well, we are moving to a new team at the end of this season. It's just a question of which one. We don't know yet. That has yet to be decided. We've got a long way to go until we even get into that sort of equation as well. We can stop fuel saving now. Keep focused on Ocon. Holding Max back beautifully here. Sainz has dropped back behind Perez. Not surprised, those two are going to keep swapping places, but they have dropped Magnussen slightly, who is now gradually being caught by Alonso again. Leclerc still down in 16th. Let's check in with Leclerc actually, see what's going on with him. And there's a bit of a DRS train by the look of it. Yuki ahead of both of the AlphaTauris, then Stroll, then Leclerc, then Norris. Piastri's now down to 18th and dropped off the back. He loses DRS completely here. He's just going to go all the way back. How the hell did he manage to get all the way up to, Q3 if this is his pace?
Anything could happen.
Yeah, Leclerc's getting dropped even more. just the Alpha Tower, the Alfa Romeo is behind him now. Lewis, thing aside, it's disappointing how quickly you've taken this team to the top. Well, Mercedes are, yeah, I mean, the car wasn't amazing, but it only needed a little bit of tweaking to get it back in the right window. We did really push the cost cap to the extreme with our research. We did quite a lot of research. And we did get a couple of facility upgrades in as well. Well, like I said, we'll be moving to a new team. Yellow flag. What's that for? Alonso locking up again.
Keep watching Alonso with this one. Nothing at this point. And there goes the steering. But that's just the
Same
risk
corner.
you take. The later you leave it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we have made it look a little bit easier than it has been for some other people, but I mean, given the amount of hours I played the first game for, it was always going to be less of a challenge than it would be for the more casual players. But we will look to try and really give ourselves a strong challenge in the next team that we go to. Obviously, the biggest challenge in that is going to be, at the moment, on looking how things are at the moment, it's going to be McLaren or Alfa Romeo. Ferrari's my next team. No, I mean, I'd like to do a Ferrari career, but we'll see. Maybe I'll when I create my duplicate of this save at the end of the season, maybe I'll do a triple one. And I'll keep one that stays at Mercedes, one that goes to Ferrari, and then a third one for whatever we do in the live stream series. But I don't think Ferrari's going to be that much of a challenge to get them back up to the top again. That Alpine is flying. Yeah, Ocon is doing a phenomenal job. In fact, he's actually broken away from Max now. He's actually broken the DRS to Max. Max's tyres are going. Right, Schumacher has been passed by Leclerc. I missed that. Reading through the comments. Andy says he's just started with Mercedes on 22. Any tips? Don't really want to give out tips for 22 because once you figure that game out, it becomes ridiculously easy. So I think... Oh, is that Alonso locking up again? No, it's Stroll this time. Stroll dropping himself all the way down. Wow, Alonso's in 19th now with those lockups. Wow, Aston Martin really struggling here at the moment. Yeah, once you figure out how everything works in 22, the game gets very easy very quickly. I mean, we took Williams to double champions in our second season. Yeah, Williams was comfortably the worst team in the game at the start of season 1. And then we decided to do a challenge mode series where we went with Aston Martin, which were the second worst team. and we went with young rookie drivers, and we put some self-imposed limitations on ourselves, and we still won the championship in season 3. So I think we won both championships, didn't we? And it only took us 3 seasons with rookies, Formula 2 drivers. So yeah, it's not a very difficult game. Oh, Alonso's crashed. I missed the replay. I just saw it disappearing off screen. Let's have a look at any damage on his car. Looks like he might have just maybe fishtailed into the wall slightly. Might have some partial damage to one of his end plates. I think he's lost part of his front left end plate. Yeah, it looks a little bit reduced in size. Is he going to box? Nope, he's staying out. Can I show the tyres? Yep, there we go. Lock up for Ricciardo.
Now this was at turn 3. Well, you can see the lockup.
Under pressure from Mick.
Do much about it.
That's another Aussie bottle job here. There is a curse on Australian drivers at Australia. They just never seem to do well at this circuit. Ocon took time out of me. Yeah, that's fine. Ocon's probably had just a push lap. He'll slow it back down again. He's half a second slower than us again, so. Alonso has had a mare. Yeah, he's had a really bad race. He is way off. Let's see what his lap times are at the end of this lap. Let's see what his tyres are like. I think he's boxed already to put on new tyres, and he's already scuffed those up a bit as well, by the look of it. As Ricciardo boxes. Okay, Alonso back up to the 122s. That's pretty strong pace. He's pushing right now. Leclerc's now up to 11th. Ricciardo comes out on a set of softs. Russell leading at the moment. There's Ocon in the background, and he is definitely gapped Verstappen. So Max's tyres are falling away. Max is going for the one stop as well, by the look of it. Alright, I'm going to up the tyre pace now.
Happy to start reducing that, management.
Now that we're approaching the pit windows. Let's see, any close fights going on? This is probably the closest. Sainz, Perez and Magnussen just hanging on. Sainz is on worn out softs. Perez is on mediums. Oh, what a bit of weaving there to try and get the position, and he gets himself side by side. He's going to get the DRS off of Sainz as well.
It's not going to be long now, mate.
Yeah, copy, all good.
Some brave moving there from Perez, who gets the DRS. No, Sainz has got the DRS. happen? Right, Perez could find himself getting overtaken by Magnussen here. Name 3 of my favourite retired drivers. Senna, Schumacher and Mansell, I would say, are 3 of my favourites. They're not my 3 favourites, but they're 3 that immediately come to mind because they were just, you know, entertaining to watch in one way or another. 3 of my favourite current drivers. I'm going to say Lewis, Norris, and this season probably Albon. Right, Verstappen into the box. That was a good clean stop. We've got the gap up to 7.5 seconds over Ocon now. I see some more movement in the pit lane. We've got Schumacher coming in. Stroll behind him. Yeah, there's a space on my list as Jim has to just come off it. Okay, it's a decent but not spectacularly fast stop. That's a bad stop for Stroll. See that one mechanic just standing there at the end going, oh, for God's sake.
Lance Stroll comes into box. But they run into trouble and it holds up their stop.
This isn't F1 manager, it's F1 director. Yeah, well, we're in a pretty strong position right now. It's one of the reasons why we're going to be jumping teams at the end of the season, because someone was suggesting, I forget who it was, saying, why don't you just stay with Mercedes? Because, you know, on a personal level, it'd be quite interesting to see how quick a car I could make. And it wouldn't really make for very interesting, you know, viewing for you lot. So. Sainz has now dropped behind Perez and Magnussen. Right, where's Max? There he is. Albon and Leclerc both coming into the pits. It's a good stop for the Ferrari. Oh, and the Ferrari gets through ahead of Albon. He does get held to let Leclerc through without an unsafe release. So that's another position gain for Charles Leclerc. It's going to be a long road back to the points from here, though. And Sainz has dropped off the back. Those tyres are pretty much gone. He's surely boxing this lap. We've got a yellow flag. We've got a VSC. Ooh. And our guys have just gone through. Okay, so George is in front. He gets box first.
Oh, we've had a crash. Now here, we're taking turn 6. Clearly unable to take evasive action. And
then he's actually gone through the barrier there.
Good at all.
Everyone's going to dive into the pits. Say, this is going to benefit everybody but us. Do I risk a double stack? Or do I try and hope that we get another lap under the VSC? I think I have to go for the double stop. I think we'll lose more time staying out and the VSC ending before we get back round again than we would just waiting to box behind Russell. So, both of them are coming in. Ocon will box as well behind us, I'm sure. Very quick stop for George, 2.0 and 2.1 for Lewis. Ocon has stayed out. So is Magnussen. Magnussen's going to get in between us. Did not expect that. And you watch, we'll go around and get another lap now, where I didn't have to box Hamilton. Well, double stack him. But that has given Russell a clear advantage. He's now nearly 4 seconds clear. We will give both drivers a sprint to see if either of them can. Oh no, there you can see VSC ending. We would not have had a clean stop for Lewis at VSC pace.
DRS enabled.
Got a lot of fuel to burn off. Thanks to that VSC. The gap's about 3.5 seconds between the two drivers, but I think Hamilton's going to get some DRS here. We'll let them warm their tyres up and then we'll give them both a sprint lap or two. See who can set the fastest lap, and then we'll back them on down again and let them fight at a lower pace setting. So with Ocon not having boxed, that's really hurting. He was on for a podium and he's lost it now, because he's going to come out behind Max and Hülkenberg and Perez and Sainz, possibly even his teammate Gasly. And Hülkenberg is yet to stop, Magnussen's yet to stop, Piastri and Bottas yet to stop. Everybody else has. Alonso's made 2 stops now. He boxed as well as Hamilton gets up the inside of Kevin Magnussen. Gas is flying right now. Purple, purple.
This is good work. Look at this, so that's a P3.
And now Tsunoda's going purple in the middle sector. So, a couple of these guys really pushing to set a fastest lap here. Am I in low attack? I am. To just prevent my drivers from plonking into each other.
So head down now.
All right, tyres are up to temp. Now that they're not side by side, let's put them back onto medium.
Just show me what you've got then.
Yep, fine.
Alonso sets the fastest lap. He's found some pace again.
Pace is still good, let's just keep it up.
Just waiting for Magnussen and Ocon to dive into the pits, which should happen pretty soon. Then we'll have clear track and not have to worry about anyone getting held up or, you know, a bonus slipstream / DRS that the other driver didn't get. I want it to be a fair fight for the fastest lap. Sainz sets the new fastest lap of a 1:20.4. Max is on a bit of a push right now. Yeah, Ocon is screwed. He was on for a podium. He's going to lose so much time. He's going to come out behind his teammate. And Lewis has now dropped Magnussen, who just doesn't have the pace left in those tyres to keep up. Ocon stays out for another lap. He's going to be rapid on those softs. If he gets a late safety, if he gets a safety car in the next couple of laps, he's going to work out beautifully for him. His glory days of leading a few laps are about to come to an end. Tyres at 39%, Magnussen at 36%. Bottas has dropped back multiple places since the restart. Leclerc's still stuck down in 14th. Ocon boxing. No, he stays out another lap. What about Magnussen? Russell moves into the lead.
Come on!
Look good.
Now we should be able to take a look here. Now this was at turn 1. The opportunity's there. And we've got a new race leader.
Right, how quickly can we drop Ocon without really trying? I think we might possibly have done it already. He's got DRS here. Can he stay within a second? He can just, but only just. Still staying out. And he's not in DRS range this lap. That's it, Ocon's been dropped. Magnussen has boxed. It's clean, if not quick, stop. It's going to bring him out in 9th place. Bottas into the pits. So it's just, has Oscar boxed yet? It's just Oscar and Ocon left the box. Soft tyres for Bottas, who is a long way back. Look at this. Aston Martin in 17th and 16th. Leclerc is still not in the points yet. And Ocon is still out there. Right, he could be a real threat for taking the fastest lap. Because he's going to go on to softs. Not quite sure when. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. As Hulkenberg dives in. Surely Piastri's going to box this lap as well. It's Ricciardo just running a little bit wide.
And we're watching Daniel Ricciardo. Oh no! Wide they go! That won't do the floor of the car any good at all.
And it's a clean, unspectacular stop as in comes Oscar Piastri, the hometown hero. Can he find a little bit of pace on those soft tyres? Surely Ocon is going to box this lap. Surely he's not going to stay out a bit even longer. He's going to lose so much time now. He might come out behind Magnussen if he stays out too much longer. And he's in.
So the stops are starting to happen now.
Alright, so we will be sprinting Russell and Hamilton on the next lap. As they go for a fastest lap. Ocon does get out in front of Magnussen. He's about 8 seconds ahead. Further ahead than I thought he'd be. But out in 7th. Alright, let's get ready to start winding this up for George.
Let's start pushing them.
So you can pick up the pace. And that's it.
So they'll get 2 laps.
Yep.
To see which one of them can set the fastest lap.
There you are, fastest on track.
And apparently first blood to Hamilton, who got it from overtaking Ocon with DRS. George is in peak confidence. Hamilton's not quite there, but he is purple in the first sector. Russell goes purple in the middle. It's going to be close between the two of them. It's going to be very close between them. No idea how close because we don't have live timing splits. Keep banging on about that for a reason. Russell takes the fastest lap. Lewis takes it right back. How close were they?
Fastest lap.
A 1:19.305. A 1:19.403. Less than a tenth. 98 hundredths of a second between them. They get one more lap. They're both now maxed at peak. Well, no. Russell is maxed in peak confidence. Lewis is in peak, but not maxed. I get the feeling Russell will win the race, but Hamilton will take the fastest lap in today's race. His peak pace stats are a little bit better, and you see he's going purple, purple. This is going to be a mighty lap from Lewis.
So we are low on battery at the moment.
Does not improve because he ran out of battery at the end of the lap. Okay, so let's calm them both down. Let's keep the fuel burn going. We're going to drop the tyre pace right down.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that
top up.
click on that tyre.
And light, there we go. We've opened the gap up to max to 14 seconds behind Hamilton now. So no threat from behind unless we get a safety car. Ocon will more than likely end up with the fastest lap. Well, I don't know. I mean, 1:19.3s. That's quick. Ocon did a 1:20.8. Let's keep an eye on him, see if he does go on a push. Personal best for Piastri on that last lap. Ocon's up in his middle with a personal best. Ricciardo in the box. Ricciardo on a two-stop strategy. He's going to come out right in front of Hamilton. So Ricciardo, the first driver to get lapped today. The Aussie curse. Australian drivers just don't do well in Australia. Not since Mark Webber got a 6th place on his debut. I don't think anyone's actually done better than that. Maybe he did well in a Red Bull. I don't know, but yeah, for a long time, Australians have just run poorly. Ricciardo's never had a really great result here. Piastri's not doing amazingly right now. There's plenty of Australian drivers in the low ranks as well. See how many of those actually make their way onto the F1 grid over the next several seasons. The gap between the two drivers is not coming down. There is Lewis's current pace stats. 90, 100 and 100. Let's take a look at Russell's. 195 and 93. Both drivers in peak confidence. Unless things go awry, you may end up seeing the full stream. I half expected you to do, what you did last night and just bugger off at the very end of it and miss the final overtake. Any more big upgrades planned for the car? I've got a few upgrades in the works right now. I've got a new suspension coming, a new side pods, new chassis, and I think a rear wing. And then after that, we'll probably calm down for a bit. Just make sure that we've got plenty of spare parts. Ricardo is hanging on to the back with those brand new tyres. Hope he's not going to try and interject himself into unlapping himself, lock up and crash into Lewis. That would be annoying. But yeah, it's looking like Russell is going to make it 3 from 3. I mean, there's still 18 laps to go, including this lap. So it's not over by a long shot, but that gap isn't really coming down. It's maybe come down a 10th in the last lap. The drivers are so evenly matched right now. Look at that. 100th of a second between them. Still half a second ahead, faster than Verstappen and Sainz. Gasly's on a bit of a push right now. Ocon pushing with a 120.5. He's caught the back of Perez. Is he going to throw it up the inside? No, he's not. Is that Gasly right in front? It is. So Ocon has caught the back of Perez and his teammate, and then it's only another 3 seconds to Sainz, and then only another 2 seconds to Max. It is entirely possible Ocon could get himself back on the podium. He's got the fastest tyres. Does this game have random breakdowns? No, it does not, and that's a shame. It really would make things more interesting if it did have random engine failures, etc. But it does not. I hope that is something that gets added in the next game. We've got a bit of a reliability thing in it now. When you're designing parts, you can choose to make them really lightweight, but they're less durable, so they wear out quicker and have to be replaced more often. Parts wear out now, not just engine parts, but actual aero parts now wear out, which they didn't do in the last game. They only broke if you broke them in a crash. Now they have a lifetime of a certain number of miles or kilometers, and if you make them lighter to save weight and make the car performance a bit better, then they're less durable and they wear out a little bit quicker. But there's an element of reliability been introduced with this. With this updated game, but it does need to be more fleshed out. I would like to see random engine reliability issues. This is definitely the closest fight on the track right now. of significance at any rate. I mean, you've got Norris, Tsunoda and Leclerc scrapping just a little bit further down the order as Ocon gets ahead of Perez and will surely get past Gasly on the main straight here with DRS. Yeah, he's just going to swoop past him, look. So Ocon back up to 5th, and he is on still for a podium. I thought his chances were screwed, but he's less than 5 seconds off the podium right now. You want to see marshals waving flags and flashing boards? Well, I think we do get yellow flags on LED screens, you know, lighting up when there's a yellow. I don't know if we get flags waved though. Honestly, I'm not sure. Not really paid too much attention. You want to see trucks picking up a car that crashed out? No, I'm not too interested in that, but I would like to see improved car recoveries, as we have lost the fastest lap to Ocon. He has taken it. And we're going to crash. Speaking of crashes, who has crashed?
So we can have debris on track.
Norris. And Tsunoda. No, it's Albon. Norris and Albon. No, Tsunoda did move teams, didn't he? Whoa, a bit of drifting there for Norris. Just about managed to avoid doing massive damage to his car there.
Back in the garage, that was a tough moment to watch.
Right, not happy that we've lost the fastest lap. So, excuse me, we are going to box for softs.
Box.
Right, I am praying that we don't have an issue on George's pit stop. I'd like to see better crash animations. I'd like to see if a driver runs wide on a corner that they use the actual designated escape roads to rejoin rather than the really clunky way that they just sharply pull back onto the track sometimes. Right, clean stop for Russell. Oh, it's a slow stop for Lewis, and that has just given Russell the win.
Sorry about that, Lewis. So traffic on exit.
It's also given Max second place, temporarily. Oh, Hamilton's going to drop out behind Gasly. Sorry, behind Ocon and Sainz as well. Oh, what a disaster.
And happy to pick up the pushing level.
Copy.
Let's get into some management. Turn 5.
Copy.
And just charge the pack. Okay.
So it's going to leave us a little bit of work. We're going to have to manage Hamilton's race from now on to make sure he definitely gets back into position. Once we've got enough battery, we will sprint Russell and then we'll just leave him be. But I think now we're going to make sure that Hamilton does not take the position from Russell, because we're going to have to, you know, interject in Hamilton's race now just to make sure he definitely gets back up to second. Right, that's enough spare fuel.
think about left lifting coast.
Understood.
Ocon is now back on back past Sainz. Just 2 seconds away from Max and closing. At least it was Hamilton's stop that went awry and not Russell's, otherwise both drivers would be in this position now. Although that would probably be a bit more entertaining because we would let them fight, I suppose, once we got them past. We'd manage them both back into the first and second and then leave them to it. You were AFK but have just caught up, you need to do that more often. Well, it's no surprise that you've gone AFK in the last 2 races and George has won them both as soon as you've disappeared. Maybe if you stick around to the end, well, obviously it's not going to happen tonight because we're going to make sure that Hamilton holds place now, but I would have chuckled had you stayed to the end and then Lewis take the win on the final corner or something.
Push and hold, overtake.
Alright, let's let Russell sprint away. Let's start closing up on the back of Sainz and Ocon.
And let's push.
Yep.
It was going to be a fastest lap battle, but that's not going to happen now. Lewis is comfortably going to get fastest lap because he's going to have DRS as well as battery and fuel and tyres. But we'll let Russell stretch his legs, open that gap up for a couple of laps.
And just have a think about getting the pack back up.
Understood.
Sainz is making it tricky for Ocon. He's not giving up his current podium place, which he will lose as soon as Hamilton gets in range, which is going to happen this lap.
Just need to make sure keep these tyres in good nick.
Yep.
Close up.
Let's just manage these tyres.
Yeah, copy.
So Russell sets a fastest lap of a 1:18.2. Yeah, beat that Ocon.
Charge the pack.
Oh, that was close. That was so very nearly a very messy corner.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Understood.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't fall off a cliff on that tyre. Let's charge that pack. Use the overtake. to keep the pressure on Lewis. You could
Oh, collision. That's a penalty for Hamilton. Ah.
Oh dear, a crash! There's been a crash! Here we are then at the 11th corner. Dangerously close to each other.
Yeah, he squeezed him.
And not just one car involved in that.
All right, so we're really going to have to step on it for Lewis now, because he's got to not just get past Verstappen, but get 5 seconds clear of him as well in the remaining 7 laps. Just don't hit Ocon on the way through as well, please. Let's take him out of aggressive overtaking.
Good lad. Okay, Lewis, so you're currently P3.
Another thing I'd like to see is penalty points implemented, where drivers, if they rack up the 12 penalty points in a calendar, in a 12-month period, they get a 1-race suspension. But given how unfair the penalty system works in this game, that would see drivers getting suspended an awful lot. Because sometimes they get penalised twice for the same incident. So yeah, that wouldn't really work, unfortunately, with the way that the game currently does penalties. Alright, Russell still has the fastest lap. And Lewis is pretty much out of battery now. But he is now in clear air. We've already dropped Verstappen. Ocon is almost in range of him as well. Ocon is now definitely on for his podium. That's it, no more battery.
Battery at the moment. Let's just work on getting that pack back up.
There we go. And we're going to calm Russell's tyres down again.
Just reduce your speed.
And calm Lewis's tyres down now as well. So it looks like Russell's going to get
We are seeing high
the fastest lap tonight.
So just keep on top of it.
Lewis's opportunity has been and gone. And say he's not catching Russell, he's 9 seconds off, and even if he did, it would only because we encouraged it, so we would tell him to hold position anyway. So yeah, Russell's going to win tonight unless he puts it in the wall or something. Which is possible. We just saw Hamilton have a collision, so it's not impossible that something might happen to Russell. Like we're about to lap Norris.
So 5 laps remaining.
We've almost got the 5 seconds that we need to ensure that Hamilton finishes ahead of Verstappen, who is now in a fight for that podium place with Esteban Ocon. Come on, Esther baby. I wish we had a soundboard to hand where we could play out drivers shouting out things. So Esther Baby's on the podium from Monaco. Right, we have got the gap we need. Let's calm loose his tyres down.
Top of the lifting coast.
Let's just see, did we do any damage to his powertrain unit with that little collision? 66, 69, 55. No, not really. That's good.
4 to go.
And now we're going to get them to just bring the car home nice and safe. So let's tell them to avoid high-risk curbs so that they don't put quite so much impact into the power unit and other parts. And let's go back to Ocon, who has got through. Can he hold the position? Ocon's been superb in this Grand Prix. I don't know where this pace has come from for the Alpine, but he's been mighty. I have to say, he's driver of the day. Twice he's had to hound and harass Verstappen, chase him down and get the pass done.
3 remaining.
And now he's got 3 laps to hold him back. But he should have a pace advantage with those softs against the mediums. Tyre wear itself is pretty similar. So you have to go with the pace of the softs over the pace of the mediums, and that means Ocon is probably going to be able to hang on now in DRS zones. It will be a bit tricky for him in a couple of places though.
If we could just drop back a bit.
Copy.
An absolute disaster now would be a late safety car that bunches the field back up, because Hamilton would lose so many places under the safety car.
Laps remaining.
2 laps remaining.
Just hope everyone keeps it clean out there. VSC would be fine. Red flag, I would imagine, would be fine. Safety car would be a disaster. Here comes Max, closing up on the first straight. Is he going to go for a lunge? No, he's not close enough. Yeah, I think Ocon's got this. The Merc pace is crazy. It's pretty nice, I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of hard work went into getting the car that quick. Oh wow, Russell has just lapped a whole clump of cars as he starts his final lap. Whoa, look at that gaggle of cars behind him. That's Piastri, Norris, Bottas, Schumacher and Tsunoda all scrapping for 14th place. So this is the fight we're watching. Max is close. He's going to have an opportunity here. And one more DRS straight after this one. Can Ocon hold him off? Very close. This next straight is going to be the crucial one. Can he hold him off in the braking zone? Yes, he can. That's it. Ocon is going to hold on and take the podium.
Yes, guys!
Russell wins it! First over the line. And coming in first, it's George Russell.
And it looks like Piastri held off Norris.
There'll be celebrations tonight after a performance like that. They've done themselves and the team proud.
So we have taken the flag. Nicholas, so that's a P2.
What upgrades did I do to gain so much pace? Honestly, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you, but, you know, just
Happy with that, Lewis? Let's get after it, mate.
go through, you know, the previous stream, see the upgrades that we put on the car, the research that we did. And that will give you a good indication. And there we go. Russell takes his third win in a row from Lewis Hamilton and gets the fastest lap tonight as well. Ocon, fantastic drive from him. So being a scrap with Verstappen for a large chunk of this race, both before and after the pit stops. But has taken that third step on the podium. Sainz breaks his curse of 9th place and finishes in 5th. Good race for him. Gasly up to 6th. Perez in 7th. Magnussen 8th. And I didn't see with the other two places.
I have to say, George Russell looks excellent out there.
And a very happy George Russell with his mechanics there.
What a well-deserved win that was.
Pure elation there as the driver regroups with a team that worked so hard to see this moment. And up he goes, George Russell joining the podium lineup after a memorable Grand Prix.
It gets even better for the team, with both drivers scoring a podium finish this weekend.
Well, it wasn't exactly a walk in the park, but it was a thrilling weekend here for us all at the Australian Grand Prix. And as proceedings start to wind down here, what will Mercedes have made of this result, Karun?
I doubt they could be much happier. A win and a podium place. What a great way to round out the weekend.
And that's about that for this weekend here in Melbourne.
Next time, the teams will be racing through the streets of another city. Join us in Baku on the shores of the Caspian Sea for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
There we go, confirmation of the final results. George Russell coming from 3rd to win the Grand Prix. Lewis having a bit of a dodgy race at the end there. Unlucky with the pit stop to drop him behind a few cars and then colliding with Carlos, who recovered quickly to get back into position there. Look at that for Pierre Gasly, up 8 places. Leclerc did get himself back into the points in the end, starting from 15th. He dropped all the way down to 18th in the opening laps, and then just got stuck behind a lot of traffic for a lot of this race, but he did finally manage to get himself up into the top 10. Hulkenberg taking the final points, with his teammate 2 places ahead. Disappointing race for Perez, down 2 places to 7th. Let's take a look at the drivers' standings. There you can see maximum points for George tonight, win and the fastest lap. That gap is now up to 22 points. 3 wins from 3, 1 pole, 2 fastest laps. Been a great start to the season for George. Lewis in second place is 13 points ahead of Max now. He's had no race wins, but 3 podiums, all of them second places, and 2 pole positions and a fastest lap so far this season. We see Ocon jumping above Leclerc in the standings, and Sainz gaining some big points at last, moving up 3 places in the standings. Elsewhere, a bad day for both of the Aston Martin drivers. Where did they actually finish in the end? 13th for Stroll. Alonso did get himself back up to 11th. Considering he had 2 massive lockups, that's not too bad. Good race for Lando. Disappointment for Oscar, who did get pipped by his teammate in the end. Bottas gaining 3 places. Disappointing weekend for both of the AlphaTauris, dropping like a bit of a rock there, and Zhou failing to finish. Into the Constructors' Championship, another 44 points for Mercedes, sees us up to 132 points. We are now 60 points clear of Red Bull after just 3 races. It is starting to look like a lock, isn't it? Alpine jumped 2 places above Aston Martin and Ferrari to take 3rd in the Constructors' Championship, and they're not that far off of Red Bull. They outscored them today. They're only 31 points behind. Could we see Alpine pushing for 2nd in the Constructors? That would be something to see. Ferrari, as we said, dropped down a place. They do pick up some points. They're 5 behind Alpine right now. No points for Aston Martin. Disappointing race for them. Very disappointing. Haas jumping above McLaren with a solid 5 points. And as yet, Williams, AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo yet to score any points. Let's take a look at the pit stop challenge. We had the fastest 2 pit stops. George Russell and Lewis Hamilton in that order. Then it was Verstappen's Red Bull, Piastri's McLaren, Perez's Red Bull, and Norris's McLaren. You know, both of the Alpines got in the top 10 as well. Ferrari got in there with Sainz, and AlphaTauri did manage to squeak in there with Daniel Ricciardo. So the overall standings is 129 points now for Mercedes. That is a maximum 1-2 in all 3 races. Red Bull in 2nd, McLaren in 3rd. Alpine move above Ferrari to 4th place in the pit stop challenge. And there you can see that was the fastest stop, a 2.048. Close for Lewis with a 2.12, and then he had that stuck wheel nut on his 2nd stop, which cost him an extra couple of seconds. So we let them scrap. So 8 successful overtakes and 12 failed overtakes for George. 15 successful defences, 5 failed. Let's take a look at Lewis. 10 successful overtakes, 19 failed, 12 successful defences and 8 failed. These stats unfortunately don't have the same impact as they did last year. In last year's game, because obviously that, you know, the more overtakes and defences you got, the better points you scored in terms of driver experience. But I don't think the same applies this time round. And again, I don't think we're likely to see another Imola for George, where he ended up with something like 53 successful defences in that race. He was just mighty. We did get some more experience for Teo. He will be sitting out in the next Grand Prix, as it is a sprint weekend at Baku. But a little bit more development for him. That's good. And once again, it's only George that gets the bonus. Hamilton's bonus is contingent on winning, and he has yet to do that this season. Another 25k paid out to George, and another 450k or so saved by not having to pay Lewis a bonus. We end up with about 4.9 million added to our bank balance. So let's get some of the admin out of the way before tomorrow's stream because it is a sprint weekend, so it'll be a little bit longer. Let's go to our car parts. So we have one spare underfloor now. That's good. Still waiting on another chassis. We have got a car that has failed a part. And that is the suspension that's failed on Lewis's car. No doubt because of that little coming together with... Was it? Yeah, it was Carlos, wasn't it? We've got scouting done on Joe, who is on a 2.9 million salary. He's got 2.5 years left on his deal. Magnussen is out of contract at the end of this season, as is Alex Albon. Stroll still has 45 months left on his deal. He's still got a little under 4 years left on his contract. Yeah, he's going to be at Aston Martin for a while yet, unfortunately. Unless we go there and sack him, which, you know, it's possible. Right, so let's deal with the suspension issue. Replace that. How many spares do we have? We don't have any now. That was my spare. What do we have going on here? We've got a new suspension project due in 15 days. New side pods in 14 days. 11 days to our rear wing, 20 days to our front wing. We've got more chassis on the way. I think it would make sense, even though we've got a suspension project coming, it's not going to be in time for Baku, at least in terms of manufacturing, so it would make sense to go ahead and make at least one spare suspension, just in case we clip the barrier in practice. Yeah, being a sprint weekend after practice one, and we go into the sprint quali, we're then locked into Parc Fermé and can't switch to older spec parts. We can only replace like for like, and if we don't have the part, that means we have to emergency manufacture, which is not cheap. That really hurt us last year, having to emergency manufacture some parts. So let's see, side pods are about to be replaced, don't need to worry about those. I've got a spare underfloor, don't need to worry about those. Plus, actually we don't have another underfloor on the way yet, so let's go ahead and make another underfloor as well. There we go. So we've got a spare for both cars now. Chassis are being done that we know about. Front wings, we've got a couple of spare front wings, that's fine. We've got plenty of rear wings because we're still on the first spec. Side pods are about to be replaced, so they'll be fine. We've got the spare underfloor in production now. Suspension, we've got a spare on the way. Yeah. Alright, we're good on parts. We can't do any more development yet because we're in the middle of 4 parts being worked on. So let's advance time a little bit. Actually, let's just check our facilities. We've got 5 mil in the bank. I know we've got a few facilities that need some TLC. Quite a few parts that need some TLC. Yeah, let's do a refurb there. Can't afford that refurb. Or that one. Can't afford that refurb. Can afford that one though, so let's get that one up and running. There we go. Operationally, still not all that fussed about upping the boards. We'll hang on to that little bit of extra cash. Let's go ahead and drop an upgrade. It's only 50 grand to get that tour centre maxed out. There we go. Right, our factory is now upgraded to level 4. So, it's just one step away from being maxed out, but that has now given us the ability to do 5 sets of parts. So that helps reduce any potential bottleneck there. And has also sped development time of manufacturing up a little bit as well. Nice. Okay, so that's what our car looks like at the end of the month in terms of its summary. Engine cooling does need to be worked on, but we've got a chassis and side pods coming that will help cool the car a little bit more efficiently. Acceleration also needs to be worked on, but again, hopefully some of those new parts will improve our acceleration a little bit. Financially, we are very, very secure right now. Back up to just under 5.8 mil, thanks to a new injection of cash from the board. Speaking of the board, they have high confidence in our leadership still. Let's go take a look at the board. They are delighted with performances, as you can see. Happy that we achieved our 2023 objective. And we are on target for both of these objectives as well. Got a driver development update. Let's take a look and see how our drivers have been getting on recently with their simulation training. So we've got a bit of a boost to adaptability for George. Goes up to 98. That's going to make him very good in the wet. And this is where I think some of the stats are a bit wrong. George is a good wet driver, but he's not, 98 good compared to Lewis 88 good. Lewis is much better in the wet than the vast majority of the drivers on the grid, and I do feel he's been a little shortchanged on his adaptability stat there. But we've seen that with other drivers. Some of their stats just don't seem to make any sense. Teo has got a nice little boost to his smoothness and boosted his overtaking and defending as well. Starting to get him hopefully ready for potentially getting in the car next year. Let's have a look at the March in Formula 1. Ferrari have upgraded their weather centre. And Gunther Steiner, it says it could be going better. I don't think he's doing that bad. They're 6th in the constructors right now. Just outside the top 10 in the drivers. That's not too bad for them. Let's sort out our training schedule for our pit crew for the next month. Let's see. We have been working on time quite a lot and less on mistakes and car building, so I think I might, let's just take that off and give them a bit more rest. There we go, after USA. But I think I might leave it at that, leave them balanced. Let's see if we can maybe just boost car release a little bit. Let's take that training off of jacks and go to car release. There we go. Our times will get a little bit quicker. Our mistake chances will come down a bit, which is good. Our car building will get a bit of TRC, because that has been neglected over the last season or so. There we go. We do have to decide what we're going to do about James Allison as well, whether we're going to renew his contract or not. I think we probably should, shouldn't we? Mercedes would. We'll just wait until the the team hub is refurbed. Actually, no, that's not going to affect his morale. I will maybe give him a bit of morale, but he's only okay on morale right now. We want to try and get him into high morale before we offer him a contract, just to increase the likelihood of getting one a slightly more favourable deal. Driver morale is all okay over here. Okay, let's continue advancing time. Alright, that's a spare suspension. And the spare underfloor. Let's go to car parts. Do we have that extra chassis yet? We do. How many more are we making? And will they be ready in time for Baku, which is 17 days away, so it should be. We've got 2 more to come, and we'll be done in 10 days. So yeah, we'll have 2 spare chassis in time for Baku as well. Excellent. So that's a new part on the car for the next Grand Prix. That will help give us a little bit more of a engine cooling boost. far is our development along? 3 days, 6 days, and 7 days. So we've got 3 new parts about to drop. We'll actually get this rear wing in time for Baku as well. We'll have time to make plenty of those. That's good, because we haven't had an upgraded front wing yet this season. Let's go to manufacture that. There you can see the rear wing. It's going to give us a slight hit to our dirty air tolerance, which is already the best in the field, so that's okay. And we're going to get a nice boost to speed, acceleration, DRS, and some downforce, as well as taking a bit of extra weight off the car as well. So let's go ahead and make lots of these. We are 14 days out. We want at least 2 spares. I'm going to go ahead and make 6 of those, because I'm not planning on doing another rear wing for a while. And that means we've got spares for collisions and also for parts just wearing out. Because I think the rear wings are probably going to be quite flimsy and wear out quite quickly. That does free up a new slot as well, doesn't it? So let's look at maybe starting research. Oh, research hasn't even been unlocked yet. Still got another 10 days to go. Do we need to design anything else for the car? Let's wait until after Baku before we think about committing to any more projects. Oh, we're going to design center fire. It's going to shut down those projects that we're working on. At least we got the rear wing out before the fire. But that is not good. That's 2 weeks lost before any of those projects will be able to be started again. I think is that our second fire this season? Didn't we have one earlier in the season? Oh, we had a risk of an issue with the factory. There we go. We shut it down for 9 days to just check to see if there was any structural problems, which it turns out there wasn't, but... yeah, okay, right. Accelerating time a bit more. Weather sensor upgrade is done. So we've got 4.3 mil. Is that enough to do our race sim? Why is that? Oh, it's shut down to a sponsor obligation, so we can't do anything to upgrade that. We'll refurb it. I'm not worried about the boardroom. We could do the wind tunnel. Let's go ahead and get that refurb going. And here we go, regulation changes. So this is to see what happens for next season. So either minor or major. I think we're going to go, well, minor or moderate. I think we're going to go for moderate changes. So that's going to affect the big teams more than the little teams. We're going to be going to a little team. So that'll help rein back in some of the superiority in our car next season when we're up against it. It'll also bring the grid a little bit closer together as well, which is always a good thing. Makes for really close racing in Season 3 or 4. Tour Centre is now fully upgraded. That's the spare chassis. So we've got 2 spare on those now. How are the rear wings coming on? Good enough to get on the car already. 2 more are coming in time for the Grand Prix. Car park test centre refurb is done. Good, good, good. That restores our values back to their maximum level. But Scout's not doing anything at the moment. Okay, I'll have to think about doing something with them. Research is now available. We have the regulation vote results. Let's see. And it will be moderate changes. Ferrari, Red Bull, Alpine and Williams all voted against it, but we voted for it along with McLaren, Haas, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin. So there will be a 10% reduction to all aspects of all parts next season. And we are now ready for race prep. So let's take a quick look at our car parts. So we have both cars with chassis installed and spares. Both cars with front wings and spares. Both cars with rear wings and spares. Both cars with side pods, no spares, but side pods don't take that much damage in terms of crashes. They do occasionally. Underfloor, both cars have spares, and suspension we have one spare suspension. So just hope that we don't have two prangs. Let's see where our car sits on the grid now with those new upgrades, the new chassis and the new rear wing added in time for this Grand Prix. Let's have a look. And we are still first, ninth and first in terms of speed stats. We've improved our acceleration, but not enough to climb the rankings. We've flipped our low speed and high speed around again, so we're now second in the low speed and first in the high speed. We've slipped to second in dirty air tolerance, which we kind of expected would happen. We have improved engine cooling a couple of ranks. We're up to 9th now from 11th. Let's see what the values actually look like compared to other teams. So let's check in with Red Bull. And we just increase our speed gap to them. It's now up to 0.7 kilometers an hour. We've lost a little bit in acceleration compared to them. Our DRS is nice and healthy against theirs. We're better than them in the downforce across all parts. They have now pipped us in the dirty air performance, but that's okay. Closing the gap in engine cooling. We've stripped almost all the extra weight out of the car, as you can see. Just 0.08 kilometers over now. Let's take a look at Ferrari. If anything, Ferrari have got worse going into this Grand Prix. And let's take a look at Alpine, because Alpine's pace was mighty in that last Grand Prix. 5th in straight line speed, 12th in acceleration. That's going to hurt them at this circuit. Their downforce levels, their low speed is their weakest part, which is unfortunate because a good chunk of Baku is, acceleration out of low speed corners. So Alpine might not do so well this time out. I think it's going to be back to Red Bull's 3rd and 4th. Let's see what's going on with Aston Martin. Ooh, their car is looking bad. 11th in speed, 18th in acceleration. That's not good at all. Okay, in the high speed downforce, they're looking all right in terms of low speed downforce for Baku. Yeah, it's not good for them. Who else can we check in on? Let's check in on Williams. Yeah, Williams is looking quite well placed as a midfield team now. Take a quick gander at Haas. Oh, Haas have got no speed at all. 18th. Downforce is average. They've got good acceleration, but no actual speed. McLaren. Average in the speed, poor in the downforce. That's on Piastri's car. Let's see if Norris's car is any better. Right, well, there we go. That is the end of tonight's stream. So 3 wins from 3 for George Russell as we head to our first sprint event, our first sprint weekend at Baku. So extra points available in that Grand Prix. Another 8 points available for the winner of the sprint, and 7 for second. No fastest lap point in the sprint itself. Can Lewis start to close the gap on George in Baku, or will George continue his run of results here? You know, Lewis was mighty in the second half of last season, partly because we did favour him, you know, over George because he had a chance of winning the title and George didn't. This time it's completely equal treatment, and George is revelling in that newfound freedom this year. And I'm really curious as to which driver is going to head up the sprint and feature race results. So we'll be back at the same time as always, 9 p.m. UK time tomorrow. Please join me for that. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's stream, and if you have, please consider dropping a like, or maybe if you're new, consider subscribing. And I'll be back with some more F1 Manager very soon.